Those of you that follow the channel know that I'm interested in any sort of personal electric vehicle. And today I've got something a little bit different. Cyrusher recently sent me one of their new electric snowboards. And this thing looks really cool from the... So let's get it out of the box and see what we got here. It does come in all this nice foam packaging, which is always nice. What you're seeing here is the bottom of the board. You've got kind of a paddle tire here, almost like a snowmobile tread, and then the bottom of the Ripple itself. So I've got to set my camera down to pull this out of the box, and then we'll take a look at the top side here. So this is the unit flipped over. This all fits down into this little foam pocket here in the packaging. So it's well protected. These are the things that you'll find in the box. You've got your charger for the main battery pack. And this charger feels like a nice quality unit. It's got some weight to it. Feels substantial. This is listed as having an output of 4 volts or 5 amps. Over here to your battery pack, this thing is actually really cool. It is in aluminum housing. Feels very substantial as well. And I noticed in the manual that this is listed as not being waterproof. So they don't want you to mount this to the front of your board or do anything like that. You're supposed to keep it in a backpack and dry. But it is a nice looking unit. This battery pack is 12.6 amp hours. So it should run this little motor, this little hub drive motor, for quite some time. They say that this snowboard has a 10-mile range on it with a full charge. So that's pretty significant. Certainly a lot of playtime on it. So you've got your connection here for your big cord. This cord will go between the battery pack and your board. The remote that controls the motor on the board is actually wireless, and this just goes in your hand. You've got a wheel control here, and then you've got a couple of buttons on the side here. I have seen from other people testing this unit that if you're wearing full gloves, heavy winter gear, that it's not uncommon to bump these 2 buttons. So I may tape something over this so that I don't inadvertently do that, or I may just try to hold it in a way that there's no chance of me actually bumping those buttons. This unit has batteries in it as well, since it is wireless, and it is charged off a USB. So they say that this will charge in about 45 minutes. We'll give it a full charge from 0 to full. And this battery, using this charger, is supposed to charge from low to full in about 2.5 hours. So that's not very long. That's pretty good amount of time. You could probably play all morning with this thing, charge it while you're at lunch, and then have an afternoon of playing with it as well. So that's pretty cool. But I want to take a look at this board. This is pretty cool. So I want to, before we jump into the board here, I want to take a look at the manual here and show you some important things about this whole setup. It'll kind of make or break it for you, because this board is not designed for deep snow, for powder snow, anything like that, because what it has is this wheel sticking out on the bottom side, and that needs to make contact with a firm surface underneath the snow. So what you're looking for to use this is extremely hard packed snow, possibly asphalt underneath. An inch or 2 of snow would work nicely, although that would probably wear the wheel fairly quickly. But the key here is that you need something for this wheel to go through and grip underneath. Otherwise, it's just going to be spinning in the snow. If you're sitting on deep snow, this wheel's just going to spin and you're not going to go anywhere. So keep that in mind when thinking about purchasing one of these. That conditions mean everything on how well this works. My thinking is that this setup will work really nicely on people. We're thinking of using this on the beach in the sand, right up close to the water where it's that hard packed sand, where it might just be fun to just kind of run right along the water line. It has the potential to work on that. Everything being sealed and watertight. You wouldn't want to run it right into the water, but it's certainly water splashing up onto this would indicate from what I've read on this that it's okay for that it will be well enough sealed. So the board itself is a nice quality board. It's pretty standard in that it has a wood core. This is a poplar wood core with cured bamboo. So combination of bamboo and poplar. Fiberglass board with standard base on it and steel edging as you would expect on any snowboard. So a nice looking unit here. I think it's probably well made. Pretty cool engineering on this. It looks really nice in person. This all looks like it was CNC machined, and then it appears as though it has some sort of powder coating or something. It definitely has a applied finish to it. So interesting. Your tread bolts on, as you see from the side there, onto the wheel itself, and in the middle must be a direct drive motor, not a geared motor, because in the manual here it says that this thing has regenerative braking on it, meaning, for those of you that aren't familiar with like regenerative braking on e-bikes, when this wheel spins, like in a freewheel, say you were going downhill and this wheel was spinning but you weren't actually using any of the throttle, it would be generating power and putting it back into the battery. A couple hours later, everything's fully charged. It didn't take more than probably a half an hour to top off everything. But I just wanted to bring the snowboard out here into the snow, hook things up, and see if the remote was working correctly and all that before I drive for an hour to a place where I can test this. So, but I've got one connector connected to the battery here. These are really nice quality. They feel very substantial, and I know these kind of connectors are nice waterproof or water resistant connections. So those are real nice. I'm going to go ahead. The battery is on. You can see this blue ring here glows when the battery's on. If I hold this down, we'll see we've got all light showing there, and so we're good to go. So I come over here and I push the P on the remote. Whoops, I have to hold that in, I think, for 3 seconds. You'll feel the remote vibrate and then the screen comes on. You also have to come down here and push the button on the controller, and that will turn that on. You'll see a blue light illuminate there. Okay, the remote appears to be working with the unit itself. So I'm carrying the camera and the battery in one hand, and we're going to try to get some video of this. So I'm simply rolling forward with the knob here, and it takes off. All right, guys, that's the first look over of this. Let me know if you have any questions. Just post them in the comments. And we're going to get this thing out on a frozen lake here later this week and see how it does. I'm really excited to just see how this thing performs. It has the potential to be a whole lot of fun. So I will see you on the next video, and thanks for watching.